welcome back to Realistically Random. So let's get into it. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erika Jayne's son, an LAPD sergeant, testifies in ASAP Rocky's assault trial. So that's ASAP, that's Erika Jayne, and that's her son. A Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erika Jayne's son appeared in court to testify. Thomas "Tommy" Zizzo Jr., who serves as a sergeant for the Los Angeles Police Department (LAPD), attended Rocky's trial in downtown Los Angeles on Friday, January 24th. When he was called to the stand as one of the officers who responded to the alleged 2021 shooting of ASAP Rocky, Jayne's son Zizzo took the stand and recalled being notified that a possible shooting had occurred on November 2020. On the November 2021 date before his body cam footage was played in its entirety. Zizzo testified that he did not search every inch of the street before confirming he may have missed shell casings and ultimately found no signs of a shooting.
First name is Thomas, Thomas. Last name Zizzo, Zizzo.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. So would you start out by telling the jury who you work for?
Sure, I work for the City of Los Angeles Police Department.
And within the LAPD, what's your current rank?
I'm a sergeant.
That night at around 10:20 p.m., did you respond to a 911 call?
I did.
Call the general area that you responded to at around 10:20?
I do. Selma Avenue, Argyle Avenue, that intersection, and also Selma and El Centro. They're separated by 1 block from each other.
Wait, you said Selma and Argyle and what?
And Selma and El Centro.
El Centro.
Argyle being north-south.
The uniform that you're currently wearing, it appears you're equipped with something almost dead center in the middle of your chest. Can you describe what that object is for the jury?
This is a body-worn camera.
And were you wearing a body-worn camera that day, November 6, 2021?
Yes, I was.
White t-shirt, red shorts, number 2, black clothing, fires unknown vehicle, none of the victims down, subject last seen on Selma towards El Centro. Okay, 1445, 9647.
He heard 2, possibly could have been gunshots in that direction, which is by Vista Del Mar. And didn't hear any arguing or fighting leading up to that. No screaming, no tire screeching, anything. And we go on Selma to Vista Del Mar. Vista Del Mar is that weird street that snakes around behind that club, maybe over there. Yeah.
You hear the shooter?
I saw 4 dudes. I'm trying to video now, like 10 minutes ago. That's all I saw was the police.
You know what he's wearing?
Followed by, yeah, it was only 1 call too. What were you referencing in making those statements?
So I was asking another officer who, I don't remember it being so long ago, but if they had seen anything, they hadn't. And then the comment about 1 call, well, when there's a shooting, especially in a densely populated area, you get more than 1 person calling. And that's always an indication that you more than likely have a legitimate shooting, because when you get 1 call, and I dealt with this as recent as of yesterday, and I've been dealing with my whole career. We have people that suffer from mental illness that live in the city, and it's very real for them. And they'll call and say that they heard or saw something. And a lot of times it's a shooting. So 1 call will come out because it's not actually a real shooting, but to them it is. So they call, and we keep track of those incidences, and we find out later on who keeps making those same calls. So when we have 1 call, especially in a densely populated area, it could be somebody suffering from a mental illness, or it could be a prank call, because we do deal with that, false reports of emergencies. When we have a legitimate shooting, and typically you'll have multiple radio calls, multiple people calling in, because you hear the shots, you see the shooting, there's witnesses, right? And then when you get there, you have people coming out, leaning out of the windows, pointing, that sort of thing.
So when you say to the fellow officer, yeah, it was only 1 call, or words to that effect, are you essentially communicating right off the bat, I'm not so sure if this is gonna be a real shooting call?
Right, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. You said, that second call comes out with information that there are potential suspects on Selma towards El Centro. And it gives a description of the clothing of the suspects, correct?
Correct.
If you need me to go back to the video, I will, but do you recall from watching the video where you were when you received that radio transmission?
I believe I was actually at the intersection of Sunset and El Centro. I'm sorry, Selma and El Centro.
So you're at the location where the call is saying the suspects are, correct?
Correct.
So what did you do?
Continued to look out the window and canvas and see if there were those, anybody matching that description, those suspects present.
Is it fair to say you did not see anyone that matched that description?
No, I did not. Yeah.
Okay. Is it reasonable, in your opinion, to believe that if there was a expended cartridge casing in that street, that you may have missed it?
Yes.
Is it reasonable, in your opinion, to believe that if there was an expended cartridge casing in that street, that you may have missed it?
As phrased.
In your experience working patrol, is it reasonable that sometimes you will respond to a shooting and miss certain evidence such as fired cartridge casings?
That's correct.
And if you miss a fired cartridge case, how is it that you could say, yeah, on that instance, I missed that piece of evidence or something like that?
You mean, how would I find out later?
Yes.
A couple ways. I mean, somebody finds it the next day when the light's up and they see it, and they call the police and say, hey, this doesn't look right. That's one way.
Has that happened in your career?
I have heard of that happening. It hasn't happened to me.
Is it,
Now, when you say you may have missed something, there were 7 of you guys responding officers at the scene, correct?
Did you say 7?
Yeah.
I don't think it was 7, but
Look. Okay, how many do you think there were?
I think 3 total.
Oh, no. Did you see the video?
I did. I only saw 2 others, including myself. That's 3.
How about Brian Uvidix? You know him?
Kijovic? Yes.
Was he there?
I believe so, yes.
How about John Cook?
Yes.
Gerardo Sweeney?
Don't recall.
Okay. Steve Lawson?
Also same.
Rocky Martinez?
Same.
How about Adrian Rodriguez?
Don't remember seeing him.
And Jose Quintanilla?
Quintanilla? No, sir.
You don't remember seeing him either?
No.
So, anyway, there is camp footage of other officers, not just yours, right?
Correct, yeah.
You don't know if you missed something, right?
I don't think anybody would know if they missed something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What was the first time you discussed the possibility that maybe you missed something with the prosecutors? What was the first time you discussed that?
I mean, today we reviewed stuff, right?
I don't know. I wasn't there today.
Correct.
But it was the first time you discussed maybe I missed something.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Oh, this was in 2021.
And what's it now?
This is 2025.
Okay. So, for the first time since 2021, today is the first time you discussed with the prosecutors, oh, I may have missed something.
Correct.
And the first time you met with them, anyone in this case, was on Wednesday, right?
No, today is the first time I met with them. Spoke with them on the phone
On Wednesday?
Wednesday, I believe, about scheduling and about appearing
Okay.
to court.
So today's the first time you met with them.
Met with them in person, yes.
And the first time you discussed testimony was today?
Yes.
You didn't discuss on Wednesday?
No, we discussed scheduling and what the case was about. That's it.
You didn't find any broken glass?
No.
No damaged cars?
No.
No bullet holes?
No.
You established no shell casings?
Correct.
No blood?
Correct.
In fact, you didn't find any signs of shooting, right?
Correct. Well, I can't remember, but if I'm turning it off, it's because I've concluded what I need to do, and then I'm leaving.
Well, and searching the parking lot You searched the street as well.
Are you saying after I went into the parking lot, I exited?
Exactly.
I don't remember if I did. I'm going off my body worn.
Okay, well, I'm gonna help refresh your recollection. Okay. Now, directing you to 22:35:50, 20 seconds into this video. Hold on 1 second. Is that it? Okay. We're good there? Yeah. So that's 22:35:50, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's whatever it is.
10:35 p.m.
Thank you much. 20 seconds into the video. Do you recognize yourself on?
I do.
Okay. So you did go to the street after the parking lot, right?
Yes.
And at that point, your body camera is off?
I can't remember if it's on or off. If there's an additional video you want me to watch, but I think, again, this was 4 years ago.
No, I understand. But you talked about it for the first time today with the prosecutor, right?
Correct.
All right. Did you see any of your body cam footage today when you talked about it for the first time, displaying what you're looking at?
My own video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Showing that part?
No, not this.
Right. I know you saw your video from before that we all saw, right?
Right.
But you don't see any of your body cam footage showing this, right?
No.
Okay. But that is you, right?
It is, yes.
And that video truly and accurately reflects your activities during the search of the scene on November 6, 2021, correct?
Correct.
Weren't I off as defense exhibit A?
ASAP Rocky trial day 2. Gag order placed on attorneys and Rihanna appearance date revealed. ASAP Rocky's gun assault trial is hard to gauge right now, mainly because there's a lot happening. ASAP Rocky has already spawned a significant and growing web of storylines in its only day 2. According to independent legal affairs reporter Megan Kuna, Tuesday's January 28th hearing included a candid statement from the Don't Be Dumb lyricist himself, heated courtroom moments, ballistic evidence, and defense witness testimony. Yeah, good. Yeah. Somebody had stepped on his foot and he was not happy.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, listen. Yes, sir. I do not wish to quarrel. I don't want no smoke. Just don't step on my toes. Yes, sir. All right? Okay. Let's just finish.
Okay. Adding to the frenzy, TMZ reports global music and fashion icon Rihanna is slated to make a headline-grabbing appearance on January 29th to support her partner amid his trial stemming from an alleged 2021 shooting involving his former friend, A$AP Rocky. This week, Mr. Mayor's significant other may appear here, Rocky's attorney Joe Tacopina stated to the judge during the hearing. Rocky-born Rakeem Mayers faces 2 felony assault charges for allegedly firing a gun during a street confrontation in Hollywood. Rocky, who claims he fired a prop gun only as a warning, addressed the paparazzi outside the courthouse upon his arrival. Okay, we already did that. Inside the courtroom, tensions were high as ballistics report Deputy District Attorney John Lewin introduced into the record linking a Glock 43 magazine found at a residence Rocky once shared with Rihanna to shell casings allegedly recovered from the scene was up for discussion. Lewin also accused Rocky's attorney of screaming at him, prompting a brief exchange between the attorneys. Adding to the day's chaos was a gag order imposed by Judge Arnold after a tense exchange between attorneys. I don't want any attorney saying anything to the press while the case is going on. That's it. You can call it a gag order, the judge ruled.
Regarding the press, the jury has been told not to read or watch anything about this case. I'm going to assume that they followed that rule. But what I am concerned about is someone that the jury knows is going to read or watch something about the case and then relate it to the jury. So here's the rule. I don't want any attorney in this case saying anything to the press while the case is going on. That's it. So we will advise, you can call it a gag order.
We will advise, obviously, sports where we've said nothing. We will advise the DA as well. To be clear, the DA responded to Mr. Tacopina's published report where he dared, quote, Nathan Hoffman to try the case himself. We're gonna tell the DA.
Let's move forward. Yeah, just let everybody know, in your office, who may say something, tell them not to say anything to the media or the press.
Will do, Your Honor.
Regarding the.
Okay. If convicted, A$AP Rocky faces up to 24 years in state prison, a grim possibility after he declined a plea deal that would have required him to plead guilty in exchange for 180 days in jail and 3 years probation. Rihanna's courtroom appearance is expected to create a media circus, but for Rocky, it may also provide a much-needed morale boost as testimony from rallies is still expected.
Since Friday, have you spoken to anyone about your testimony?
I had people ask me about it, but didn't really get into detail.
Okay. You just speak obviously to the prosecutors. Right?
No, sir, we agreed not to in anticipation for that question.
There you go. When you say you had people ask you about it, who asked you about it?
Co-workers, friends, that sort of thing.
Oh, curious.
Sure.
But you go into it with that?
No.
Again, just to recap, when you were arriving at the scene of a call for a shooting, you're looking for victims, right?
Correct.
Damage to vehicles in this instance?
Correct.
Shell casings?
Correct.
Now, we put into evidence defense exhibit A. Can you see that on the screen in front of you?
This one doesn't work, but I'll turn.
Oh, okay, thanks. Anyway, the street shown there in this video is Vista Del Mar, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the video starts at the end of Vista Del Mar, closest to Selma, right?
Correct. It's right at the intersection.
Right. And with the first 15 seconds of that video, you approach a homeless person and ask if he heard a shooting. Do you recall that?
I don't independently recall that.
Okay, let's play that part. That's their volume.
Hey, Val, did you hear any shooting over here? Yeah?
Okay, that's you, right?
Yes, on the left side.
Okay, you were asking, you said, hey, Al, did you hear a shooting over here, correct?
Yes, that was me.
Okay. By the way, why was your body cam not on there anymore?
I really don't remember. I don't have an answer for that.
That video. The officers are conducting a search using their flashlights aimed at the ground, right? And we'll get you right there. I said 22:35 and 54 seconds. So almost. Anyway, right there. Go ahead, let's go.
Yeah, stop sign, parking lot. Right now? What's your step right here? Okay. So what's the make and model?
Obviously, everyone has their searchlights out looking for evidence, right?
Yes, sir.
And obviously, I think this is something you'd agree with, that you wouldn't have wanted to, or none of you would have wanted to overlook important evidence at the scene of the alleged shooting, right?
Correct.
We're checking the area. It doesn't look like anybody's or anything like that.
Okay. So that's one of your, do you know who that was speaking?
I actually don't remember.
Okay. Well, one of the officers, right?
Yes.
And you say basically we're checking the area, it doesn't look like anyone got hurt, right?
Correct.
And check every car in the lot. There's nothing, no hits. But who's the other? The second PR. Okay, because I got two trends that came up. Giving me no evidence for now. We can give no evidence.
Okay. So one of the officers you know who that was speaking, by the way?
I do.
Who was that?
So at the time, Officer John Cook, now Sergeant John Cook.
Sorry, John, okay. It said it's going to be no evidence for now. We have no victims, no evidence, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it sounds like someone probably fired a shot in your hair to scare somebody. But
Your Honor, we would have an objection on hearsay. It's not coming in adversarial.
And lastly, direct your attention to 2240 and 26 seconds, which would be same page 5, line 14, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
well, no victims as of now, so unless one pops up in the hospital, probably just a warning shot. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, who was that?
So when you were looking for evidence at this scene specifically of cartridge cases being on the ground, that would be in the expectation that a semi-automatic pistol was used, correct?
Correct.
Because with a semi-automatic, those cartridge cases, once the bullet is fired, come out the side of the gun.
Correct, with every press of the trigger.
Okay. That entire area, the street, the parking lot, you didn't find any cartridge cases anywhere.
No, I didn't.
And none of your 6 other partners who responded there with you observed or recovered any either, correct?
That's also correct.
Leah Elizabeth Martin Brown.
Okay, no, no, you need to raise up your voice.
Sorry, Leah Elizabeth Martin Brown.
Can you spell your name for us?
LeahElizabeth.
Thank you.
Ms. Martin Brown, showing you what I marked as People's Exhibit 1. I'm going to direct your attention towards the bottom. You recognize the area that's depicted in that map?
Yes.
And is the apartment that you were at that evening depicted on this map?
Yes.
So from the window, you could see the corner of Argyle and Selma?
I could see pretty much all of Argyle, and then up until like Selma in the back of Davy Wayne's, which is a club along there.
Did you call 911?
Yes.
Why did you call 911 that night?
I thought someone had been hurt, and I wanted to make sure an ambulance came.
How was it that you thought someone had been hurt?
I saw an altercation, and it appeared that there may have been a gun involved. So I thought if someone was hurt, I didn't want them to die, if that had been the case. But again, I was on the 7th floor. So.
How many people were involved in the altercation that you're talking about?
3.
Where was the first place that you saw those 3 people, if you remember?
Walking down Argyle.
When you say walking down Argyle, what street would they have been walking towards?
Selma.
And how far up Argyle, so away from Selma, did you see them? Was there some point of reference that you have?
The parking garage that leads into the El Centro apartments.
Okay. What was the first thing that you observed between the interaction of those people that you described?
Again, it was like I was on a 7th floor balcony. It appeared that they were arguing, and they kind of ducked under the parking structure roof, and there was like some loud yelling, and then they appeared to be fine, but went around the corner into the back parking lot, and then that's where it appeared that there was another kind of issue, and there appeared to be like allegedly a gun drawn, and someone appeared to be shot.
Okay, I want to start at the parking garage. You said you saw these 3 people arguing outside of the garage. Did you see a firearm at all while they were outside of the garage?
I was on the 7th floor.
I understand your perspective. From the 7th floor, did you see anything that
Not at that
resembled?
time.
Okay. So the only thing that you observed from the area right in front of the parking garage was arguing? Is that what you're saying?
They seemed to go sort of underneath the roof. There may have been like something physical, but it was obscured by predominantly it was obscured by the roof.
Did you see any physical contact between those men?
Very briefly before underneath, but again, I don't want to speak on that any further.
Thank you. And I'm not asking you to speculate on anything that you're saying happened when you couldn't see them, but from the point that you could see them, what physical contact was it that you saw?
Someone appeared to grab someone.
Were there any, where on the person who was grabbed, where on their body were they grabbed?
I'm not sure, I was too far away.
Did you see any punches thrown or anything like that?
I said what I saw.
Okay.
I don't really.
Thank you. You saw one person grabbed and then they
kind of went underneath it, like there's like a roof thing that obscured things.
All right, fair to say while they were under this roof or overhang, you couldn't see them, correct?
Correct.
When you next saw any of the individuals involved in that scuffle, where was that person going?
The three of them appeared to, again, I couldn't identify who was who. They just all looked like people to me. I just saw them all in a group walking towards Selma.
Were all three of them bunched together, or was there any separation between the three of them?
I can't really accurately recall.
Okay. As you saw them walking towards Selma, could you hear anything that was happening between them?
No.
Did you hear even any raised voices, even if you couldn't make out exactly what was said?
Prior to that, yes, but at that stage, no.
When you say prior to, do you mean at the parking garage?
Yes.
Okay. So you heard arguing at the parking garage, but you didn't hear any arguing as they went down Argyle?
No.
When these three were, did it appear to you that they were all men?
It did appear that they were all men.
Okay. Is there anything else distinct about them that you could describe?
No. One was wearing a black hoodie, but again, it was a long time ago. I don't know if that would be an accurate recollection.
Okay. When they, could you even tell the race of these people?
It was dark. I don't know.
Okay. So when these three men got to the corner of Argyle and Selma, where did you see them go?
I saw them turn, from my perspective, left, and then into it's kind of like a parking lot behind these buildings.
Okay. I still have people 6 displayed up on the screen here. Can you see the direction that they went in this photograph?
Yes.
And where would, if you could take the pointer, just kind of show us where they walked down Argyle and which way they went down Selma. Okay. So, Your Honor, I would say she's describing walking southbound on Argyle towards Selma on the east side of the street, and then making a left turn and staying on the north sidewalk of Selma, headed eastbound. So you're describing them walking past this building out of view, correct?
They weren't out of view for me.
My apologies, that was not a great question. It would have been off of this photograph, correct? So if I take you back to People's One, what you described was them walking south on Argyle, making a left on Selma, and continuing on Selma, correct?
Yes, and turning into like a parking lot area.
And as they were walking on Selma, could you still see all three of the men that you've been describing?
Yes.
Did you hear anything between them at that point while they were on Selma?
No.
Did you see any interactions between them while they were on Selma?
No.
You said they got all the way to the corner of Vista Del Mar, correct?
From my vantage point, it appeared that they went into the parking lot area. I'm not entirely sure what the street is called. I just know that it's behind the El Centro apartments.
Okay. If it's marked here as Vista Del Mar, does that sound accurate to you?
If that's marked as that, then I suppose it is accurate.
Okay. And you know that there's a parking lot at that corner of
Yes.
Vista Del Mar and Selma?
Yes.
So you said what you described was they walked into the parking lot, correct?
Yes.
Where did you see them go from the parking lot?
I saw them in the parking lot, and then they had what appeared to be an altercation, and then everyone left.
Can you describe what you mean when you say they had an altercation?
Again, this was a long time ago. I can only speak on what I can remember. It appeared that they had some kind of disagreement. There was what appeared to be, and I couldn't hear anything, but it appeared that there was some kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. You could just tell that the vibe changed, and then they appeared to argue, and then there appeared to be a gun pulled, and then 2 shots fired. It appeared that someone fell down. There were some cars, so I didn't see what happened to that person, which is why I called 911. And then people ran off. Someone ran through the El Centro apartments, another scattered, and that at that point is kind of why I called, because I didn't see the third person, so I was like, I hope that they're okay.
Okay. Physical contact between any of the 3 men?
No, it appeared to me that they were maybe exchanging words. And it was more of like a jump back and pulled out a gun and then fired twice, or appeared to fire twice. And then everyone just, the people that I could see, dispersed very quickly.
What about the situation made you believe that he had discharged it?
The sound?
Could you actually hear 2 gunshots?
Yes.
Okay. The same time that you saw that man with the gun doing that jumping motion that you talked about?
Yes.
Hi, I live in the apartment on the corner of Argyle and Selma in Hollywood, and there's just been a shooting.
Did you see it, or you just heard it?
Yes. No, like, we watched it.
Okay, what did you see?
There were 4 men, and they were kind of fighting as they were walking along Argyle, and then they turned left on Selma, so we heard yelling and they started running, and they turned left into the back lot apartment for El Centro apartments, and someone pulled out the guy in the black sweater.
Was the black white, black Asian?
He was black. They were all black.
Everyone put their clothes back there.
He was wearing a black hoodie.
All black.
I was on the 7th floor, so this is just what I can see from the
And you still know where you are, or do you know where he is?
No, they all ran away in different directions. 2 of them ran like towards the El Centro apartment, and the other 2 ran.
Let's focus on the guy that had the hand, and you know which way he went.
I think he went to the left.
I knew he was. I saw all of them.
Yeah, 3 went towards Hollywood Boulevard.
Alright, but I really want to focus on the guy that had the handgun. You said had the handgun, and I want to know which way he went. If you could tell me in the direction of travel, did he go east, west, north, south, toward what apartment?
I think he went north.
North, okay.
I think he went north towards mine, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's where we kind of ran inside together.
Sorry. Okay. And do we know if anyone injured? Anyone found any medical assistance?
We're not sure. I saw someone go down, but there's a building in the way, so I'm not sure if they ran away.
Okay. And what's your name?
My name is Leah.
Leah. Alright. And your phone number is
Yes.
Alright. And just to confirm from where you are, where you can't see any victims down, you can't see anything in any of the commotion at all? You don't see anything?
No, I'm on the 7th floor, so there's a building that kind of blocks it.
Okay. Alright, no problem. I'll go ahead and I'll stop it. They have to please I'll go ahead and give us a call, okay?
You and I have never spoken to each other, right?
We have not.
In fact, yesterday, you refused to speak with the investigator from the attacks, correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay. Did anything else interfere with your ability to perceive that night?
Potentially.
Potentially what?
It was a Saturday evening.
Okay, what else happened on that Saturday that potentially would have impaired your ability to perceive?
So we were watching movies, and I had had a hit of a joint.
You had what?
I had a hit of a joint.
So you would use a joint in marijuana?
Yeah.
You used marijuana that night before observing what you saw, correct?
Very lightly.
Very lightly, okay. Obviously, from your 7-foot balcony, you didn't see a bullet or anything come out of that gun, right? You just heard a sound.
I saw flashes.
Okay.
But I heard shots, I saw flashes, but I obviously can't see from that.
Correct. And obviously you didn't see anyone get hit in particular. And you thought you saw someone go down, right?
I saw someone go down. I didn't know if they'd been hit or not, and that's why I called 911.
Right.
When it was in the car park, it appeared to be a gun.
Okay.
Because otherwise, why would it make noise and flash?
Okay.
We shall see. And we'll be right back here to recap. Until next time. See ya.